The four on-duty officers were heard passing disparaging comments about Muslims following disturbances at the Islamic Senior High School last week, Monday. The men in uniform, in an attempt to justify the firing of tear gas and shooting of live bullets to disperse demonstrating students by the police, said, wherever there are Muslims, there is problem. This was among many other unsavory comments made by the officers who were recording the incident captured on a CCTV screen with a mobile device. The video, which has since gone viral, sparked anger among members in the Muslim community. But the relief is that the Director of Operations at the Ghana Police Service says the four officers have been interdicted. He made this known during an engagement with the Ashanti Regional Zango Chief in Kumasi.
IGP quickly said, "Oh, yeah, first one, we must see interdicted on including Chief Inspector. Yeah, interdicted on so more matadi. Name person, name find out. Adding to the West statement. It's very unprofessional. We should treat this thing with contempt. So it doesn't represent the entire police. That decision IGP take here. The Tanichi, regional commandant who Tanichi, said the bear best any signal said, Atadia Shane, I say a bomba, a bo, a bamba. We are not above the law. We are custodians of the law.
Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
Right, we're going to do some analysis on the back of this development story. Joining me live on Zoom is Dr. Adam Bona, who's Managing Director of Security Warehouse. He's also a security analyst. Thank you, sir, for your time. In as much as the comments by the officers we know are very regrettable, unfortunate and unpardonable, this is not very different from the general view held by most people. It is a stereotypical view that most people hold against Islamic people.
Oh, yes. Good evening. Unfortunately, it looks like that, and that is a very hypocritical profiling. That's a very hypocritical way of looking at things. It is very difficult to accept what these police officers said. I mean, how can you conclude by saying that the people within that vicinity behaved that way because they are Muslims? And so you profile them, and so you went in there to fire tear gas at children. And who said that school? All of them are they practice Islam as their religion. And so for me, I think we would have to pass the IGP in the back for once again rising up to the occasion and interdicting them. I think it shouldn't end there. He would have to. In other jurisdictions, these people would be fired. They would be asked to, go home. But I think they need some psychological counseling, rehabilitation, because service with integrity, you can't, this is nowhere near to service with integrity. So this is what I would say.
There appears to be some bit of protection for these people. We know that their names have not been put out yet by the police service. But does it matter to you how this video was leaked to the general public?
I'm sure they intentionally leaked it. I will tell you that when the acting regional commander was removed from the Ashanti region and was interdicted, and other two senior officers were similarly interdicted and probably removed, I had scores of senior police officers call me attempting to justify the fact that the IGP was wrong for taking that decision. But listening to this horrible, despicable statement in that video, when I saw it initially, I couldn't finish listening to it. I didn't believe this would be police officers, so I paused and stopped listening and listening to what they were saying. But this video goes to vindicate the IGP and his stance and what he represents. That you might have profiled these people. That is why you sent these people who think that those who are of the Zongo, those who come from the Zongo areas and Muslims, Northerners in general, are violent. When you do that, I mean, we cannot live in a country like this. Anyone who attended a proper secondary school, boarding school, will tell you Muslims, Christians, traditional people, or manner of people lived side by side in our boarding schools. So I don't know which secondary school these 4 people attended that will make them pass this comment. So as far as I'm concerned, this is nowhere near to who we are as a people, and also nowhere near to what the police should be preaching out there and putting out there. So I would say that the decision to interdict them shouldn't end there. They have to be removed, because if you take Asawasi 7 able young people were gunned down, and probably their only crime would have been because they are from the Asawasi area. You go to Edra, probably these young people might have been gunned down only because they profiled them and took them to be people from either the North or the Zongo communities. You come to Ayawasu West Wogon, people were maimed and shot at simple because somebody looked at them and said, these people who were there probably are from the Zongos or from northern extraction. And so mine is that we have to live above that. Hypocritically, we go to Dubai. The people in Dubai, are they Christians? The World Cup is going to be held in Qatar. The Qataris, are they Christians? They are Muslims. Right,
Mr. Bona. Undoubtedly, this is likely to create some tension between the Muslim community and the police service. How do we water down these tensions beyond just meting out sanctions to these offending officers?
I think the first step has been taken by Commander, I think it's Suraj, who visited the Ashanti region to meet up with the Zongo, the chief imam, the regional chief imam in Ashanti region. I think they would have to also go to the chief imam. The chief imam, when he speaks, members of the Zongo community, would have to calm down and probably. So I think that there has to be more apologizing. They have to plead and, engage people from, Muslim communities and all that. Let them know that what took place doesn't represent who we are, doesn't represent the Ghana Police Service. And probably the police would have to take some of their people, who are supposed to be going on these patrols, through some training.
Right, very well, Dr. Bona. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate your time, Dr. Adams Bona.